This is one of the most underrated brush brands on YouTube. Nobody talks about these. Hey there, gorgeous! Hope you're having a great day. Today's video topic is inspired by you. This has been the most highly requested video topic in the comments section most recently, and so I wanted to talk about eye brushes specifically today, under $12, that will give you professional results. I could sit here and say, this brush is really good, it's got a tapered shape, and this one has a flat shape, and it's made of synthetic fibers. I could sit here all day long and do that. You'd be bored out of your mind. So what I'm going to do instead is show you an up-close tutorial using these brushes. So not only can you see them in action, you'll know how to use them, you can get the same results for yourself, and you'll save some money doing it too. I already have an eyeshadow primer applied, and before I show you the brushes up close, I'm going to show you the palettes I'll be using to create today's look in the event that you want to try this for yourself. The first one is from Wet n Wild. This is the Petalette palette. You can get this for about $5. The second one I'll be using in conjunction with that is from e.l.f. This is their I Like You a Latte palette, and this is for $3. Before I begin, I'm applying a shade that matches my skin tone. This is Brulee, and the brush that I'm going to be using, that you'll see me using a lot in this tutorial for blending, is from Real Techniques, and this is their Deluxe Crease Brush. So it's made for the crease, but you can see the bristles are incredibly dense, which makes it really nice for blending. In the event that you have small eyes and this brush is a little too big, because that is very possible, I have another brush I'll be sharing for blending that works as well as this one, but is a little smaller. For the crease today, I'm using this shade from the e.l.f. palette, and to apply it, I'm using this brush from Real Techniques. This is their base shadow brush. It's excellent for crease work. If you have smaller eyes, it's also effective for blending. It has very dense bristles, extremely soft, but very flexible. And the way I usually use this brush is to swish it back and forth in the crease like so. And then I'm also going to use it a little bit later for blending so you can see how it blends. But what makes this brush so great is the bristles do all the work for you. And because it has a more tapered design to it, you're not left with a brush that's flopping around all over the place, because I've had brushes like that, and let me tell you, that is so annoying. And you can see that it diffuses harsh edges, it creates a soft line, and you really don't need to blend it much more from here. But to use it as a blending brush, you can also wipe off the excess on a paper towel or a towel, whatever you may have on your makeup table, and then go back over the edges lightly with the bristles and use that to blend out any remaining harsh lines. Next shade I'm using is this light pinky purple, and I'm applying it with this brush from Crayon. This is the C510. This is one of the most underrated brush brands on YouTube. Nobody talks about these, but they are some of the most professional brushes you can use in your eye makeup application. And this is a dupe for my most favorite brush from MAC, and that's the MAC 239. And I'll see if I can find one here. Oh, right up front. This is the MAC 239. And you can see it is identical. It's that flat shader brush. It applies eyeshadow to the lid beautifully. It is soft, highly effective. It's one of my absolute favorite brushes, and it's much more affordable than the MAC 239. One of the things I know you'll appreciate about this brush is that it picks up product easily and holds onto it. It won't fall off the brush before you apply it onto your eyes. It holds on to all that pigment. I am applying this eyeshadow wet for reference, but even when you don't apply an eyeshadow wet with this brush, it goes on very pigmented. You don't have to worry about layering a whole lot. It's been my favorite for years, and I discovered Crayon at a makeup trade show that I went to back in, I want to say it was 2016, maybe 2015, but they had Crayon brushes there, and they had a whole display where you could go out and feel the brushes before you bought them. And I was so impressed with every brush that they had, and the results are beautiful. A lot of makeup artists use these brushes, and I just bought this one for the purposes of this video so you could see a nice clean brush, but Yeah, these are my other two. I love, love, love these. Using a clean C510, because now my other brush is wet from the setting spray, I'm taking this shade from the e.l.f. palette and applying that to the outer third of the lid. And I didn't take much eyeshadow onto the brush because it holds onto it so well. And so what I do is I just tap this onto the outer corner. I will go back and wipe the brush of excess eyeshadow and then use the bristles to blend between the two colors until they fade into one another. Another brush I want to mention to you for crease work is the C512 from Crayon brushes, and you'll notice that this one is a little bigger. If you have small eyes, it won't work so well for you, and if I hold it up to my eye here, you can see it's a little too big for my eye. I mean, I could make it work because of the tapered shape of it, but it's not my go-to, and if you have smaller eyes, I would refer you back to the Real Techniques brush that I talked about in the beginning. But if you have bigger eyes, then this is an excellent one for crease work that I did want to mention. When it comes to outer V work, your brush will make or break your look, and I have found one particular shape that does the best when it comes to outer V work, and that is this shape right here. Generally, brushes that have a tapered thin shape with fluffy bristles will give you the best results in the outer V. So this is another one from Crayon brushes. This is the C511. Sigma also makes a brush that's exactly like this, by the way, and it's the E25. So if you ever hear of anyone using the E25, this is an exact replica for a fraction of the price, and it will give you amazing results. So I'm going to be using that in conjunction with the dark brown I just used from the e.l.f. palette. This one holds on to pigment extremely well, so you don't need much. And you want to rely on the bristles to do the work for you. I still feel like I have a little too much on the brush, so I'm gonna wipe off the excess. And then if you use that in small circular motions, it will deposit the color directly where you need it. And what's so great about those defined tapered bristles is they go exactly where you need them to go. And so I generally will go up into the outer crease and into the outer V and blend, 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 blend until I get the desired results I'm after. Additionally, you can also use that same Real Techniques brush from the beginning for outer V work. It works really well also. And if you do the same motions with that one, you do get beautiful results. But with this kind of brush, because it's a little more fanned out compared to the one I used just now, less is going to be more on the brush. So you want to add a little bit at a time if you're using this brush for the outer V. And then I'm going back and blending with the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. If you watch my videos a lot, you know there's one brush that I use all the time, and it's always been one that I've recommended, but I found a more affordable version of it. I can't believe I found a dupe for it. So my favorite brush is from MAC, and that's the 263, and I love it because it's a very sharp angled brush. You can see how sharp that guy is, and it creates very thin lines. It's one of the best, and I traditionally will use this for eyeliner. I've also used it for winged eyeliner. I've used it for brows because it's good for that, right? But you can find a more affordable one. Let me just show you this brush. Look at how sharp this one is. It is the exact sharpness as the MAC 263. Look at that. Exact. And I scoured looking for this brush, and it is identical. Now this brush retails for $11. This is from a brand called Moshi, I believe. It's an angled eyeliner brush. You can find it on Amazon. That's the only place I was able to find a brush of this caliber. I'll just show you on the back of my hand real quickly here. Isn't that awesome? And this is the deep brown, once again, from the e.l.f. palette, and I'm going to use that to line my eyes. And those are the results. Isn't that amazing? And $11. $11. Before I close things out with the next brush, the lashes I'm wearing today are a pair I'm testing for possible inclusion in my lash line. So let me know what you think of these. I'm on the fence. So anyway, the last brush I have to share with you is another one from Crayon brushes. This is the C515. This is not a brush that I use very often, but I did want to mention it for those of you who like this next application method. So this is a very soft, defined tip. And the way that you use this brush is usually to smudge eyeshadow. You can smudge it on the upper lash line. You could smudge it on the lower lash line. So the way that I'm going to use is I'm going to take this shade from the e.l.f. palette with a little bit on the bristles, and I'll run it under that lower lash line just on the outer half, and this adds definition to the eyes. And what's so great about this brush is that it's not scratchy. There's so many brushes out there like this that, oh, MAC makes one like this, and it is the scratchiest thing you've ever used, which is really surprising for them. But this is, oh, it's utterly delightful. So if you like to smudge eyeshadow, even eyeliner, this is a perfect brush for doing that. If you found today's video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It greatly helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you'd like to be notified of new videos like this in the future, you are always welcome to subscribe. For a complete list of all the brushes that I showed in this up-close tutorial, everything will be listed for you below in the description box. If you would like a tutorial on the eye look that I'm wearing today, that video will be listed and linked for you below as well. And if you have any more recommendations, suggestions that you would like to see in future videos, you're always welcome to share them in the comments below. Have a wonderful day. I speak love, peace, and joy into you and into your home, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.